So 6 weeks to go. Important thing is, to keep your house in order, getting up to the end of the year. Once you give them your dollars, your tax money, you don't get it back, right? So make sure your books are there. You're reviewing your books with your accountants, right? Some things you need to do before 30 June. So sit down with your accountants, review your management accounts at the end of May. Look at anything you need to put in place. Things like bad debtors, right? Hopefully you don't have bad debts. But the tax law specifically states you've got to write it off during the year. You can't write it off after the year, right? So you got to deal with that. You got to write a minute to say this debt is bad. Go into your books and physically write it off. The benefit is you're not paying tax on it and you're getting a GST back. If there's GST paid, you've done a sale for $100,000, there's GST of $10,000. For some reason, you're not going to get paid. You're going to get your $10,000 GST back and you're going to get a deduction. So look at that. Look at your stock. If you're carrying stock, if you're stock carrying entity, stock obsolescence, we see that their companies have bought extra stock, more stock than they need. It's sitting in their warehouses. If you don't need the stock, you got to write it off. Prepayments, if you're looking to prepay for a small business, if you want to prepay some rents and your insurance and so on, you can prepay those, right? Superannuation, one of the important things with superannuation is if you want to claim a tax deduction for your contributions, you've got to get it in before 30 June, right? So depending on your cash flow, if you can obviously afford to contribute, towards your own super, right? Or your employee's super, even though the law says paid by the 20th of July. For 30 June, you paid by the 28th of July. You can pay by the 30th of June to get a tax deduction in the current year. So if the cash flow permits, get that paid, right? So I think, it's important. I think businesses stay on top in this environment, right? That they're very clear what's happening in their business, their profitability, they understand their cash flow. We are doing a lot of cash flow modeling at the moment with clients, right? Understanding what their cash flows are because, we are forecasting out for 3 months, for 6 months, right? To see what's happening because sometimes it's very tight. We're negotiating payment plans with the ATO, right? But the ATO is not a bank, so don't recommend negotiating, too many payment plans with the ATO. Try and stay on top of your ATO debts. As I said earlier, out of the 50 billion, 70% or 67% is owed by small business. So make sure you're proactive with the ATO. If you're getting into difficulty, consult an insolvency practitioner to have some discussions. So keep your house in order coming up to the end of the financial year, and obviously going forward in the new year, making sure you revisit your strategies, your execution, your marketing plans, and things like that you need to do to stay on top. Right? We think next year might be a tough year, so I think we just got to stay on the front foot from the beginning. So I might just leave it at that, Dinesh. I mean, we can talk about this forever, but those are some of the tips from me. Yeah.
I think from my end, and Raj, I think you hit the nail on the head with a lot of it is keeping your house in order. I think governance is really important, and I know that word gets used a lot, but it is really important at the moment in all areas of tax. So for me, from an R&D tax perspective, it's just really thinking about, if you're looking to access the program, do you have some good documentation and the right information on file to help you prepare your FY24 claim, or to consider if you can actually make a claim if you've not done that before. So now's a really good time to see how you've documented things around some testing or different developments that you've been doing, and make sure you've got some great things in place before the end of the financial year, because that really helps set you up for success. I think to touch on the R&D piece more broadly, I think we absolutely see so much innovation in Australia being driven by the SME sector. So, I find that this is because SMEs are really more agile and you're a lot more open to disruptive technologies. So I think that's why we see so much R&D and innovation coming out of the smaller to medium-sized businesses in Australia. And it's where, we love at Thornton working with you because you're at that cutting edge, you're constantly disrupting and you're thinking about new things and how you can do things better.